Okay, everybody, I just came here on the back side of the carriage. I removed these 4 screws that are holding on the metal part that's on the underside of this part of the carriage, and is responsible for basically keeping this carriage from being able to be lifted up off of the rear ways here. And I got all 4 of those out, and I can see that this screw here, which my understanding was that this is supposed to be to lock the carriage down, and hasn't worked. It does thread into this bar, but it makes no sense to me how this would work, because those 4 screws fully tightened basically end up causing this to be clamped up underneath this underside of the way, and you can't clamp it any tighter by tightening this down. But if I take this out, I can drop this out and see there's no jib or anything here. So that's kind of a mystery. It's a real mystery to me how this is supposed to work. You can see on the underside here, this is where the thicker boss part right here is where that bolt was going through and tightening into. But I mean, what is that clamping? Nothing. So I don't understand. But now, with this off, I'm thinking well, I thought maybe the carriage would come off, but I can feel that that's not going to happen. It might be just that tight of a fit that I can't tilt it like that. But maybe now I could slide the whole thing down right off the end of the bed. Now, basically, would the apron just stay put right there and this whole thing just slide right off? Cripes. Alright, let's see if I bang on this carriage with my deadbolt mallet so I don't mar anything, whether or not it will move that way and the apron stays in the same place. It certainly does. Well, I'm thinking that's it. I've got to slide it all the way off the end. Went so far and then stopped dead. Oh, actually, looks like it might have cocked this way a little bit. It's still moving a little bit. Seems way too tight though. Yeah, I don't think I'm doing this right. Alright. Redone some gloves. Whoops. Huh. Alright. The bottom half of the half nut just fell out. Looks like this side slides in apart on the inside there, and then this outer part must slide in apart behind the apron here, and so by pulling the apron out I created a wide enough gap for this to drop out. At least I hope. Nothing appears broken, so. problem is that this side over here is not separated from it. I'm missing a big piece of this puzzle here. Well, obviously there are no extra screws I've missed from up here. I can see that. Not only that, but this drop down. So, rolls that out. Yeah, it sure feels like the problem over here. Only there was a screw right here that I had missed, but feeling around in all this dirt to see if there's a screw head hidden in the gunk. I don't feel anything. I hate when my hands get this dirty because then everything I pick up gets greasy. Think it's moving at all. Nope, that ain't moving at all. Alright, so I just had an aha moment and realized if the carriage can normally be moved freely up and down the ways when the half nut's disengaged, then why can't I just slide the whole apron part here that's not moving right off the end of the lead screw, since my lead screw bracket is off on the end there. I've got nothing really stop me except for this handle assembly, but even that looks like I can get that off. So I just started tapping on this and lo and behold, it's going. So I think I can just actually do this right down the end there. So I'm going to reposition my camera. Alright, I got another pair of nitrile gloves. I had put these handles back on thinking I could just, you know, do this. Problem is, now that I've dropped this down, the teeth on the back of this shaft are no longer engaging the rack tooth, the rack teeth up underneath here. So I'll just actually take this back off because it's not going to do anything for me. Now it's, oh, now it's hanging it up. Is just this. Eh. I want to bend the lead screw. Well, just had to go answer the phone. Turns out I didn't have to answer it because it was just some moron from AC Services, a professional fundraiser. I hate telemarketers. Yeah, fundraisers. So anyways, took off my gloves, ran up there to get the phone, thinking it might be the wife, only for it to be whatever that idiot lady's name was that I just hung up on. Alright, this isn't working out for me. I'm going to probably have to revisit this. Well, I don't think I'm going to get back to it tonight. Got to go out with the wife and the kids tonight, and by the time I get back, probably not going to be able to get back to this. So, hey everybody, it's a day later. I actually watched a video on YouTube, of all places, of a guy taking apart his Hendey Lathe so he could paint it. And what he did was, he didn't bother taking the apron off the carriage. He actually ended up taking off the brackets on the end like I did, and then he ran the whole carriage, the saddle with the apron as an assembly right off the end, and he hooked up a cherry picker on the end there and basically just slid this right off the end as a one whole assembly. And he said it was plenty heavy. His lathe might have been a 16-inch, might have been a bigger one, but so I don't know why I'm having trouble getting this to move over now, but I'm thinking maybe the thing to do is to slide this back into position and maybe put a couple screws back in and have the apron attached to it again and then slide the whole thing down. So, I don't know. We'll see. Hey everybody, it's a day later. I actually watched a video on YouTube, of all places, of a guy taking apart his Hendey Lathe so he could paint it. And what he did was, he didn't bother taking the apron off the carriage. He actually ended up taking off the brackets on the end like I did. And then he ran the whole carriage, the saddle with the apron, as an assembly right off the end. And he hooked up a cherry picker on the end there and basically just slid this right off the end as a one whole assembly. And he said it was plenty heavy. His lathe might have been a 16-inch, might have been a bigger one. But so I don't know why I'm having trouble getting this to move over now, but I'm thinking maybe the thing to do is to slide this back into position and maybe put a couple screws back in and have the apron attached to it again and then slide the whole thing down. So, I don't know. We'll see. I think by pulling this apron up back to the bottom side of the saddle here with these two screws, I think now I'll be able to put the handle back on here and actually run the carriage down to the end. Of course, now that key is coming out when I didn't want it to. There we go. Alright, what is that? Oh, is it because I've got this clutch undone? Alright, what gives? Something's wrong here. It's almost like the half nut's engaged. Oh, I think it is. Put this handle back on. Disengage the half nut. Well, that's a lot easier than tapping it over. Gonna have to get the hoist set up over here so I can support this assembly when it comes down off the end here. Alright, that's as far as it'll go. The teeth on the end of this are no longer engaging the rack, so let's get these back off. So I think the other thing I should do is I should rig something up to support the lead screw so that it doesn't just kind of like hang, and I don't want to bend it. Although that lead screw is pretty darn thick. I don't think that would happen, but just to be on the safe side. Get some wire and wire it up. Alright. Back to the other Sony camera with lower resolution because the memory card is full on the other one, and I don't want to stop working on this to go transfer the video off of that card. Anyways, some people actually prefer this camera over the other one, so decided not to move the cherry picker over here because I'm thinking the guy who did it used a cherry picker, but his lathe was still on its stands, on its legs, so it was up high. So, but I'm only about bottom of the apron there. It's only about 8 to 10 inches off the ground, so I'm thinking I might be able to just put some boards underneath here and wrestle this thing off. I got to get it a little closer to the end than it is to start to get an appreciation for the weight. Amazing to me how tight that is on that bed. Well, the half nut's completely clear of the lead screw. That would be obvious just by the fact that flashlight. Take a look. Get some wood.